Riding a motorcycle? Oh yeah, it's awesome. You feel free, alive, untouchable, like John Wick on a budget. But let's be real. What they don't tell you when you start riding is that owning a bike is a bit like dating a supermodel who constantly needs expensive repairs, eats your wallet, and might kill you at any moment. See, when you first start, everyone hypes up the freedom, the adrenaline, the wind in your hair, or, your helmet vents. But no one says, hey, congrats. You just signed up for a second full-time job called bike maintenance, the never-ending saga. If you actually ride your bike, not just polish it for Instagram Sundays, guess what? You'll be spending more time wrenching than riding. Now featuring loose bolts, stretched chains, tires that disappear faster than your paycheck, and oil changes that come around more often than you're annoying. And don't think you're safe just because your bike is new. Nope. Even the so-called low-maintenance bikes slowly fall apart like IKEA furniture in a hurricane. Hand grips, worn, fairings, faded, foot pegs, bent, your sole, cracked. And don't even ask what happens when you drop it in front of your friends, in a parking lot, while trying to look cool. I'm fine, by the way. Thanks for asking. People think riding is dangerous. And hey, they're not wrong, but it's not always crashing that'll get you. It's the 2 a.m. Why is my engine making that sound? YouTube spirals. It's your mom asking if you have a death wish. It's your date ghosting you after you mention the word motorcycle. Oh, you ride a motorcycle? Wow. Cool when this really translates into you're reckless, irresponsible, and I will now ghost you forever. Look, riding is absolutely worth it, but it's not all sunsets and rev bombs. It's commitment. It's grit. It's knowing that behind every epic ride is a sore back, an empty wallet, and a bolt you definitely forgot to tighten. Before riding, I used to think most drivers were just a little careless. A late blinker here, a lazy lane change there. Annoying? Sure. Dangerous? Now I know the truth. Most people drive like they're auditioning for the next season of Final Destination. Texting, eating, swerving, signaling left while turning right, drifting across lanes like a bored toddler with a crayon, slamming the brakes for no reason. It's not just bad driving, it's menace to society. When you're riding, every car becomes a 2-ton death machine with blind spots, bad habits, and a driver who thinks you're just a shiny bug in their mirror. Riding ruins driving with other people. They brake late, you flinch, they don't check their mirror, you're preparing your will. They change lanes without signaling, you consider never speaking to them again. Riding teaches you something terrifying. Most people shouldn't be behind the wheel, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. I'm getting a motorcycle to save money, said every delusional beginner ever, including me. Sure, gas is cheap. Insurance? Not bad. But then you hit the gear wall. Helmet, jacket, gloves, boots, pants. Boom! $1,200 gone before you even leave the garage. Tires? Every 5,000 to 8,000 miles if you're lucky. And you can't just change one. Oh no, they come in pairs. That's hundreds with balancing and install. And oil, chain lube, brake fluid. Add a monthly subscription to bike parts that will fail eventually. Your cheap $2,000 bike becomes a $5,000 hobby real fast. And if it's an older bike, get ready to learn how to wrench or pay someone who does. Either way, you're paying. Now, you imagine this perfect scene. A big pack of bikes, riding as one, looking cool, bonding on the open road. Reality, someone's riding like it's MotoGP. Another guy is stuck in second gear the whole time. Someone else can't corner and keeps target fixing into mailboxes. Group rides are great if you trust the people you're with. Otherwise, it's like synchronized swimming with chainsaws. Group rides, the dream. Dozens of bikes, moving as one, like a majestic pack of chrome-covered wolves, until it turns into Fast and Furious, passive-aggressive edition. Riding in a group sounds amazing, until half the group stops every 10 miles for snacks, smokes, gas, or an existential crisis. Someone's Bluetooth won't connect. Someone else forgot their helmet, and just when you're ready to roll, oh look, Chad wants to turn back. If people don't know how to ride in formation, communicate, or not show off like it's a TikTok challenge, it turns into a rolling disaster. You need trust. You need communication. And most importantly, you need zero clowns. One idiot trying to look cool can ruin everyone's day and your fairings. Damn. Quick reality check. Bikes lose value fast. Like, scary fast. Cars, they drop in value. Motorcycles, they leap off a cliff. Buy a brand new bike? Congrats! It's now worth 60% of what you paid before you even got the plates. Add some fancy parts? Those are now worthless, decorative souvenirs. Don't trade it in. The dealer will offer you a coupon for sadness and pretend it's generous. Oh, it has low miles. You added custom exhaust? Wow. Here's $11 and a stick of gum. Let me break it to you gently. You will drop your bike. But I've been careful for years, host. Doesn't matter. Parking lots, driveways, gravel, weird slopes. It'll happen. And it'll be your fault. Full tank, bags loaded. You forget the kickstand's not down. You blink and bam, you're lying next to your bike, hoping no one saw. And someone always sees. Usually a guy in a Camry silently judging you through his sunglasses. Forget the scratch. It's the shame that stays with you. That dent becomes your silent reminder. Like, hey champ, remember when you thought you were hot stuff? Think again. Motorcycle gear, protective, expensive, and about as comfortable as a medieval suit of armor in a sauna. In summer, you're a baked potato. In winter, a frozen burrito. Rain? Surprise! Your waterproof gear is only water-resistant when new. Helmets squeeze your head. Gloves rub your knuckles raw. Boots? Great for riding. Miserable for walking. Pants bunch up in all the wrong places. And jackets just kind of ride up when you sit down. You don't get used to the gear. You just accept that comfort is a myth and suffering is standard. Sometimes you take your hands off the bars at 60 miles per hour and think, this is fine. Not because it's smart, just because you've seen worse. Too much gear, you can't move. Too little, the wind stabs you. Rain gear feels like wearing a sweaty trash bag that leaks in all the wrong places. Eventually, you stop chasing comfortable and settle for not actively suffering. Once people know you ride, suddenly you're their motorcycle Google. Hey, what should I look for when buying a bike? Months later. Yo, how do I fix the brakes on this bike you told me not to buy? Bro, that thing had duct tape on the handlebars. You thought that was a design choice? When you don't ride for a while, the guilt creeps in. You stare at the bike like it's an ex you're not over. Am I too old for this? Do I even deserve this bike anymore? And then you remember, and suddenly everything makes sense again. And just like that, you become a judger. You see that guy and your brain goes, that's a future organ donor. It's not arrogance, it's experience. Once you've hit gravel at 40 or been cut off by a minivan, you know what's at stake, and you can spot who doesn't. Your time is now measured in riding conditions. 30% chance of rain? That means 70% chance of throttle. We're rolling. You become a part-time meteorologist. Your riding window is everything. You cancel plans because the sun came out. You skip sleep for empty roads at sunset. You ride before work, after work instead of therapy. It's all the same. Lastly, when you can't ride, you lose your mind. You go a week without riding, and it feels like you're trapped in a Netflix drama called Restless Heart, Stuck in a Cage. You start counting sunny Tuesdays like they're national holidays. No one tells you this stuff. They just hand you a helmet and say, you'll love it, and you will. Even if it breaks your wallet, bends your pride, and permanently rewires your brain. Do you have any further truths not mentioned above? Drop them in the comments. Until next time, ride safe,